Alright, should be good. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Make sure again. Right. Alright. I'm in the green. Better be in the green. Okay. Just welcome back to Cross the Grooves. Doing chapter 5. Almost at the end. Next week, chapter 6, and that should be it. Unless there's a secret chapter after this. After that, so. Alright. Let's continue on. I'll sing forever. There we go. Yeah, I can't read that. What does that say? Either way, yes, chapter 5. Let's continue. Okay. I crossed Camden with some trepidation. It's almost 6 in the evening, closing time at Yard Sale Records. The train journey from Inverness took most of the day. I didn't realize that. You know what? I still don't know how to say that, so I'm not gonna say it. I just realized that house was so far to the north of Glasgow. I pushed open the door and entered the store to an enthusiastic welcome from Garrett. The store is almost deserted, but the resolutely monk seems to be putting him in an extremely good mood. Oh, hello, Alice. Back already from Scott. I can't read today. Yes, I found what I was looking for. There was no reason to stay any longer. Oh, you're here to see the boss. He's upstairs. It's been quiet, so he went up to the place. Why can't I read today? So he went up to place some orders. I climbed the stairs. Alan sits at the desk. He looks up as I arrive. Oh, Alice, all right? I wasn't expecting you back at work before Monday. Did you cut your stay short? It would appear that I work here. Alright, so yeah, okay, so in this timeline now, because I'm trying to remember, yeah, because when we visited that one guy, why am I blanking on the guy's name from the last chapter? Yeah, we teleported to his house, so we changed the timeline there, so alright. Cool. It also appears that Alan and I aren't a couple in this reality, considering how he just greeted me. I don't know whether to be relieved or disappointed. Did you find the records? Yeah, did you find the answers you're looking for about your record? I guess I can conclude that Alan knows about the record. That will make the rest of our conversation simpler. Yes, I found out where it is. However, I'm afraid that I've completely lost Yuli's trail. Alan sits back in his chair, looking worried. Alice, are you sure everything's all right? In this timeline, is Yuli around then? Because that's what he's making it sound like. So I'll put why you're asking. Yes, why are you asking me that? Because I am. How should I put this? Oh shoot, he's dead in this timeline, isn't he? Well, I guess we'll find out in a moment if he's dead in this timeline. Yep, see? Yuli's dead. In one stroke, it is as if the world is collapsing around me. Shoot. So yeah, I think we're gonna listen to that record one more time. We're gonna save Yuli. Make sure that Jean Baptiste is back to being Alice's fiance, and then put the world back together more or less. So yeah, we'll try that. Hopefully that happens in the next chapter. But yeah, but first we gotta get through this chapter first. Alan looks distressed and turns away, allowing me the time to take in the information. If Yuli is gone, then it's because of the record, because of me. For a long time I stayed there, tormented, confused before I find the strength to ask. But what happened? It was 3 years ago, Alice. So 3 years ago, that's when they broke up, right, Alice and Yuli? That should have been. So, hmm. How did it happen then? Yeah, before we met. Your ex died in an accident. That's why you moved to London. I'm not running away. I need. If I'm gonna save Yuli, I need information. Listen, Alan, this will probably seem pretty strange to you. Take a deep breath. But can you tell me briefly what's happened in the last 3 years? Alan silences me with a wave of his hand. There's no need to explain yourself. You warned me this might happen. Okay, so at least we told him. We at least told him enough so that he won't like like what you're talking about. Well, besides the Yuli's dead, of course, but yeah, you warned me this might happen because of the record. Let's see. Hopefully, I told him enough about the record, so maybe I don't need to ask him that. You know what? I'm gonna ask about the record, see how much he knows because yeah, Alan's an ally, so I might as well ask him about everything. What did I tell you about the record? Alan leans back in his chair, thinking. You only spoke of it once or twice. On the anniversary of the date of his death, it was always a difficult time for you. I got into the habit of spending the evening with you. Last year we had drunk a fair bit, and you ended up telling me everything. That your ex had found the strange record which allowed you to change your past. That the record had aroused the interest of some very unpleasant people. That the accident which cost your Yulia's life was maybe not an accident. That perhaps one day you might come to see me having forgotten everything that had happened since you moved to London. You made me promise not to judge you, but to help you if that happened. And you believe me just like that, without question? Of course, I ask you loads of questions. We've worked together for 3 years. I think I can say that we know each other pretty well. If a complete stranger had told me that incredible story, of course, I wouldn't have believed them, but coming from you, Alice. Anyway, I'll do my best just to fill in the gaps. What's the last thing you remember? I think back to listening to the record, to the moment in the past that it took me to. It was a summer about 3 years ago. I was with Yuli and we talked about the record. Do you remember what you decided at that moment? I try to recall. Yuli, he realized that I'd come from the future. What did you told me that it maybe wasn't an accident, that Yuli had the record with him and that's how they stole it from you. They? Some kind of sect, apparently. You told me about someone named Eva, but you didn't know much more. Okay, so did we not tell? Did we not tell him that? Oh yeah, that's right. We found out about about that organization. We found out in the last chapter, and of course, we wouldn't have told Alan because that wouldn't have happened yet. Okay, yeah, okay. After Yuli died, you ditched everything to move to London. We met at the Fox and Sparrow not long after you arrived. And so, can you tell me where I live? A little flat in Mayfair, not far from here. And where we... Not sure how to continue. Alan understands what I want to say and finishes my sentence. Were we together? I'd be lying if I told you that it hadn't crossed my mind. But as you work in the shop, it always seemed a bit inappropriate. And our friendship is too important for me to want to put you in danger. So then, I work for Yard Sale Records. Yes, you do. You needed a job when you got to London. I offered you one to tide you over. And as you did a fantastic job and you've never asked to leave, the temporary became permanent. Okay, now I understand. I left for Scotland a few days ago, right? Yes. You told me that you had a lead to find your record and that you had to go up there. You were going to meet someone who you hoped would have information for you. By the way, did you meet him, the great Arthur Pullman? Yes, and he was lovely. As I told you, he disclosed to me that the record is in Prague. What are you going to do then? I realized that I don't have any choice. Yuli is dead in this reality because of me. I know I can't accept that information, not while I have the possibility to get him back. Not while I have the possibility to set things right, to erase this reality, this fake world. No matter what price I have to pay to succeed. I remember Enzo's story. The record stole the love of his life from him. Do I truly have a chance of succeeding? It hadn't worked for him. No matter what happens, I have to try. I'm going to Prague to get that record back. Alright. Alan glances at the wall clock. It's closing time. Give me 5 minutes to help Garrett with everything, and I'll walk you home, okay? Yes, of course. Take your time. Quarter of an hour later, we set off toward Mayfair. Alan stops in front of a building in a small street. I rummage in my handbag and extract a bunch of keys. One of them unlocks the door without difficulty. Alan tells me that is on the second floor on the right. I give him a kiss goodbye, then push open the door and climb the stairs up to my floor. I go into a little London studio apartment. Considering the price of the property in the city, I wasn't expecting to be living in a loft. What strikes me, though, is that the apartment seems to be completely soulless, a ghostly reflection of a life which hasn't truly been lived. Apart from a large poster of Bella Sebastian from their concert at the Barbican, which appears to have been pinned recently, and a few old Yee records, this place seems strangely impersonal. Something ineffable reminds me of the apartment I shared with Jean Baptiste in Bordeaux. But I chased that thought from my mind and opened the refrigerator, hoping not to find it completely empty. After a frugal meal and a long hot shower, I roll myself into a blanket on the sofa bed, which I can't be bothered to unfold, and let weariness sweep me away. The day after, first thing, I jump onto a tube for Heathrow Airport. Hoping my bank account in this new reality will allow me to pay for a London-Prague flight without too much difficulty. It's already late when the bus from the airport drops me in Andel. Wait, are we in Prague already? Alright. The first flight I was able to find left in the early afternoon with the time for check-in and all the security checks. When you add an hour of travel by public transport to get to the center, the winter sun has almost set when I start walking down the long avenue down along the side of Petrin Park. Snowflakes begin to spin gently down as I turn to a small street on the right to enter the heart of Malastrana, the lesser town, which faces the old town across the river. The Lorenz Mansion is a great 19th century edifice with a classically inspired colonnaded facade. On the frontispiece, embossed? Wow. I don't know. Embossed in gold. Greek letters spell out the words. I'm guessing that's Aeon Karosnin. Yeah, for all to see. I have two options. I could try the direct approach, ask to talk to Eva and try to convince her to let me listen to the record. Or I could try to get to the building and hope to find the record and a record player before the occupants detect my presence. In both cases, my chances of success look pretty slim. Oh, man. Trying to think, what would be a good option? Maybe discreetly, but oh yeah, maybe discreetly. I could, screw it, just do that. I decide to offer stealth. I can't see myself getting what I want by pushing the door open and requesting it from Eva, especially since I have nothing to negotiate with in return. I linger on the sidewalk opposite in the cold, try to figure out the best approach. Obviously, with the winter weather, none of the ground floor windows will have been left open. I noticed that there's a small door on the other side of the building, and that there are some solitary individuals seem to use it occasionally. Seizing my courage, I wait a few moments after the last person has gone in before pushing open the door. It leads to a small entrance hall with a doorbell. I ring, then go into the second long room with a counter on the right for a cloakroom. A man in a uniform suit greets me in English, tinged with a slight Czech accent, and asks me to leave my belongings with him. I hand over my bag and coat. In exchange, he holds out a numbered token and what seems to be a large piece of shiny black fabric, impeccably folded, with a plain white Columbina mask placed on top of it. What the hell is that? This evening proves to be rather Kubrickian. So we doing some eyes wide shut like things? All right. I mean, whatever floats Eva's boat then. As I suspected, the fabric turns out to be a large cape which I slip on for donning the mask. The next room is a large salon, the walls hung with black and dressed with woodwork and moldings. About 30 people dressed in what seems to be ritual garments are gathered in small groups holding glasses of champagne. Most of them wear black capes like the one I've been given, but I also noticed one person with a red cape and two others with purple capes and silver masks. Probably to distinguish the ranks within the organization. There's one person who seems to be alone in a corner of the room. I could use her isolation to try to glean some information from her. Trying to think. Is that Eva? That's the thing, though. That could be Eva, though. I mean, damn. Oh, man. What could I do? What should I do? What should I do? Might just stay in the background. I decided to stay in the background. I prefer not to take a risk of being discovered by getting into a conversation. Take a glass of champagne as the waiter passes by, and then slip away to a corner of the room waiting to see what will happen next. I've got no idea of the records being kept, but it would seem that I've happened upon the evening when it's presented with great pomp to the lodge members, which gives me the perfect opportunity to try to get it back. I try to eavesdrop on the conversations around me. The group next to me are speaking in reasonably fluent English, and I think I can make out different accents, which leads me to believe that the lodge members have come from all over the world for this occasion. It would seem that Eva has called an extraordinary council for some reason, which my companions at the soiree aren't aware of. I'm immersed in listening discreetly when I feel a hand on my shoulder. I turn. A man, his costume now removed, looms over me. He speaks in a calm but firm voice, his English tinged by an East European accent. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh. You don't follow me, Alice. Oops, my discreet approach has failed. Like, no. How did they find me? Wait. Duh. I gave him I gave someone the I gave the person the bag, like my stuff, and I'm pretty sure they read, they read the like her ID. Then, man, maybe I should have gone. Nah, screw it. I'll keep it. I'm not restarting it. I had to take a moment to weigh out my options. Got no plan B. Now they kicking up a fuss will help me here. The man appears to understand what's going on through my head because he adds, "Don't be a fool, Alice." I let out a sigh. Fine. I allow him to escort me upstairs. As soon as we're out of sight of the other lodge members, he catches hold of my cape and pulls it off roughly. Your mask, please. I obey. We take one corridor, then another before entering a large office. Eva sits on the other side of the room, writing on a sheet of paper. The record is next to her on the desk. She stops writing. Ah, thank you, Jacob. I didn't know what you hoped to accomplish, Alice, but we spotted you when you were contemplating how to enter the building. So they knew before. Okay, so they knew before I got in. Man. Be ironic. Why not? I mean, I got caught, so I might as well just, might as well just talk some shit then. You should have come straight out and got me. It would have saved you from waiting in the cold. Eva smiles. I was curious to see what you were gonna do. To be perfectly frank, I've been expecting your visit. You've given us quite a hard time, you and your friend. What was his name? Yuli. I turn to look at Jacob, who stands behind me. He looks away. Yes, that's it, Yuli. Tell me, Alice, how did you find out that the headquarters of the lodge were in Prague? We generally manage to be inconspicuous, but it would seem that nothing stops you. Well, I'm gonna say none of your business, but I'm pretty sure Eva's gonna say like Arthur helped me out, right? We'll find out in a moment. Look, that's none of your business. I didn't come here to tell you about the schemes I've had to use to find you. Very well. In that case, let's get to the point. I don't know how familiar you are with the technicalities of our Brotherhood's mysteries, so I'm going to try to explain things simply and precisely to you. As you can imagine, I'm a very busy woman, and you haven't chosen the best day to grace us with your presence. It has been brought to my attention that one of our brothers, Jacob Novak, here is responsible for the accident which cost your partner his life in the last emanation. I suppose that your presence here, as well as your renewed determination to steal the Koros from us, is very certainly linked to this tragic death. Is it not? I'm gonna stay silent. Can't let her get to me. I choked back an answer, choosing to stay silent and let Eva reveal her intentions. She lets out a sigh. Very well. I see right through you, Alice. You're as transparent as water. But after all, if you wish to stay silent, you'll save us both some time. So I thank you. I have a proposition for you, Alice. You're a resourceful young woman. You managed to thwart our plans and escape us several times. You've already heard the chorus, which makes you de facto an honorary Grand Mistress in our organization. Join us. We'll be honored to count you as one of us. Wait. After all the enmity between us after pursuing Yuli for years, you're actually suggesting that I join your organization. To be honest, most of all, I'm thinking of your capacity for causing trouble. Of course, if you accept, you will have access to the Koros as much as the other members who have reached the rank of master within the lodge. And if I refuse? If you refuse, then I will ask Jacob to escort you to the door, and I'm afraid we'll just have to put up with your troublemaking capacities. I can feel Jacob becoming restless behind me. It would appear that Eva's attitude is making him uncomfortable. I take a minute to weigh up the pros and cons. Eva seems very sure of herself. She has a record and believes herself to be in control here. She doesn't appear to be aware of the danger she faces by letting me listen to the record again. What with Pullman told me I could completely change the destiny of all the people in this room and give myself the best chance of Yuli being alive best chance of Yuli being once more alive. That's kind of a weird way to say it. Cause yeah, I think I said it better. The best chance of Yuli being alive. Yeah, just say that. By doing that, I know there's a strong possibility that I'll find myself in a completely different reality from everything I'm familiar with. But that's a risk I'm willing to take. On the one hand, I could, of course, pretend to accept, but I mustn't seem too enthusiastic about it if I don't want to alert her suspicion. On the other, I could also try to negotiate by promising to stop annoying them if she lets me listen to the record one last time. And I think that in her desire to be generous, maybe she'll accept my proposition, and even if it's just to clear her conscience and that of the lodge. Eva waits patiently for my answer. Oh my god. I mean, if I refuse, they might give me the answer. I mean, they might give me the option to do the listen one more time. Or if I accept, I can kind of do what Arthur Pullman did, and kind of play the long game. Well, at least with Arthur Pullman, that was his life. But here, I have to play the long game if I do accept. I mean, but then that's the thing though. Would Eva not accept me if I put accept in? That's so weird. I don't. Oh my god. All these decisions, man. See what happens if I accept. Alright, I'm going to accept. Very well, I accept your proposition. Really? That's wonderful. To avoid giving the impression of accepting too easily, I add. That doesn't mean to say that I agree with your values. I just want to have access to the record. Of course, I understand. All I ask in return is that you're present for the annual council. I have every confidence that our members will be able to convince you of the interests of our brotherhood in the long term. Eva's reply doesn't surprise me in the least. And in her arrogance, she is unable to conceive that Arthur and I could possibly know things about how the record works, which she is unaware of. I pretend to reconsider the advantages and disadvantages before saying, "Alright, I accept your terms." Eva holds out her hand across the desk. I shake it. I'm so pleased we'll be able to reach a mutual agreement. The lodge has detested violence since it began, as perhaps you know. She looks up at Jacob, who still stands behind me. I turn to him. Alice, I'm truly sorry for the accident which cost your friend his life. I sincerely hope that the Coros places you in an emanation in which you can find him again. What happened? What exactly happened? We thought he had the record. We confronted him to get it back. He tried to run. He was hit by a car. He was killed on the spot. It was more than 3 years ago, but I still think about it every day. Once again, I am so sorry for what happened. Let's hope the record gives him back to me. Jacob lowers his head in agreement and then returns to his place at the end of the room near the door. Eva checks her watch. Alright, it's almost time. I'm going to have to get ready to host the council. Jacob will accompany you to the prayer room. Given the strange circumstances of your presence here, you will hear the chorus at the very end of the ceremony. It's been 13 years since we had a new inductee in the Brotherhood. I hope you will be able to respect our rights. Counting on your sense of decency and on your discretion. I nod. Very well. I thank you in advance. Mr. Novak, if you would accompany our guests to the prayer room. Eva picks up the record and her notes and leaves the room. Jacob and I follow her out. Okay. prayer room is situated on the ground floor. It's a long rectangular room with a checkerboard marble floor. The room doesn't look like it has been renovated in the last 20 years, which would lead one to suppose that Ernst Lawrence had, in fact, bought a former Masonic temple at the moment the Iron Curtain fell, probably aiming to cover up the true allegiance of the Aeon Kairos Lodge, or rather its lack of allegiance. The assembly must number around 30 people gathered in two large groups on either side of the room, leaving a central aisle free. After a few minutes of silence mingled with some whispering around the room, Eva makes her entrance. She walks up with a measured step to the other side of the room, mounts the platform there, and addresses the assembly in a strong, clear voice. My very honored brothers and sisters, I must thank you for coming so numerous and for some so far in a short time. I would not have convoked you to this exceptional council if I didn't have excellent news. Since the death of our sovereign protector Ernst Lawrence, we have moved heaven and earth to find it. Today, it gives me great joy to tell you that the Koros has finally been returned to us. After a long crossing of the desert, the Aeon Kairos Lodge will finally be reborn. And all of you here, the most loyal, you have kept faith in the Brotherhood and the teachings of my father and my government as the second sovereign protector. All of you will be rewarded when your time comes by the knowledge of the Koros. She holds out a hand toward us. For this first ceremony in 13 years, we have two beneficiaries. Our brother Jacob, who joined the lodge over a little 10 years ago, and our brother Alexander, who represents the new blood of our organization. Both have been instrumental in the recuperation of the Koros, and the Grand Council has decided to reward them for their devotion to our cause. They will thus be the first to be liberated from the false world and to rise above the chaos of the multiple emanations of the physical reality. Jacob stands up, approaches Eva, genuflects, and goes to sit on the throne. Eva places the record on the turntable while Jacob removes his cape and puts the headphones over his ears. Brother Jacob, are you ready to no longer be the slave of the false creator, to take yourself from the emanations of the false world and to receive the light of knowledge? Yes, Sovereign Protector. Eva switches on the turntable. The room fills with sparkling reflections. Then when the needle of the turntable reaches the central groove, everything returns to normal. Jacob takes the headphones from his ears. There is something subtly or different about him. Perhaps his stubble is a little less closely shaved, or maybe his hair, which is slightly less peppered with gray. Or maybe it's something in his posture. The assembly applauds as he rises and goes to sit on the left of the stage with the two people who wear the purple capes. The ritual repeats itself for my other neighbor, Alexander. Once again, the strange shimmer in the air, which stops when the record ends. It's Alexander's turn to go and sit on the left next to the initiates, and Eva speaks again. As is the custom, I will take my turn to hear the Koros. As Sovereign Protector of the Aeon Kairos Lodge, my role is to perpetuate our community and to make it grow. That is why I'm going to make myself place the lodge in the most propitious available emanation, as the great masters present here testify on my return. Eva sits, puts her headphones on, and starts the record. For the third time, the air begins to vibrate with glittering particles. This time, the room also seems to change. Heavy velvet drapes appear on the wall as the furniture becomes more opulent. When the record ends, the assembly applaud, and the room, which was half empty, is now full, suddenly holding a multitude of new caped initiates. For the first time, I'm fully conscious of the danger the record represents put in the wrong hands. If Eva is as ambitious as Arthur Pullman believes, the Aeon Kairos Lodge could quickly concentrate so much wealth and influence that she would become uncontrollable. She lays the headphones on the table, and I notice that her hair has grown, intensifying her air of great pagan priestess. Before closing this council, I would like one last person to hear the chorus. We have among us this evening the previous guardian of the record who had lost someone dear to her heart in the previous emanation. When she arrived at the lodge door earlier, I asked her to join our ranks. She accepted my proposition. In order to make her investiture official, the Board of Masters and myself, Sovereign Protector of the Ion Kairos Lodge, have decided that she also will hear the chorus this evening. Eva gestured me to approach. Alice, if you would take your place. I sit on the throne and place the headphones over my ears, then I start the record. A guitar note pierces the air. Almost feedback. The eyes of the assembly are fixed on me. Sparkling reflections emerge. I look at Eva one last time. She stares back impassive. The light twists and knots. I turn my gaze inward, searching for Yuli. Like in spring we met, in the fall we came undone. I aim for the middle of the road, the summer of our love. Sunset over the roofs, tiles shimmering like mirages. The golden hour, the right time. The time to put the record clean, the time to bring you back from the mist of oblivion. A new emanation. I put the headphones down. As you enter the room, sun to my moon. Alice? Yuli comes into the room as the record I'm listening to ends. I remember this moment. What I hadn't noticed the first time I lived this moment was the record that he has under his arm. 7-inch with a white sleeve. Thought you were going out this evening. He walks over to me, bends down to my height, and plants a kiss on my lips. His hands tremble slightly. He seems shaken. They want me to make a choice. I think I need to know the answer. I can't. He seems shaking, so I can't. Like, yeah, why would I enjoy this moment? Like, I need to know how to save. I need to know how to save him. Yuli? I don't have much time, and I have to lot tell you. Yuli backs off and looks at me concerned. What do you mean? What is it, Alice? I pour on the record when she has it laid on the coffee table. Have you listened to it? Yeah, I just bought it. It was part of a batch of psychedelic, a big collector by the bay. It was the weirdest experience I've ever had. But how do you know about the record? I still don't know how to say that. It's probably unique. Yuli, what I'm going to tell you is that it's going to be hard to believe. I'm going to ask you to trust me. Yuli nods and replies without hesitation. Of course, Alice, tell me. Yeah, I need to tell him everything. I come from the future, Yuli. The record allows you to change your past when you listen to it. In this future, you're dead because of this record. Alice, you're scaring me. I'm very serious. My time here in this moment is limited. It's vital that I listen to the record before I get sent back to the present to avoid that the future I come from happens again. I'm going to ask you to promise me one thing. When I've finished listening to the record, you take it and disappear. You take it and you disappear. I disappear? Leave Bordeaux. Don't try to learn more about the record. Just keep it in a safe place, please. It's the only way, Yuli. I'm sorry. With a bit of luck, I'll still have the memory of the future after I listen to the record, in which case I'll tell you everything. But if I don't, I'm going to ask you to trust me. I took the record from the coffee table and put it in place on the turntable. Pick up the headphones and before putting them over my ears, I glanced at Yuli one last time. What would be a better thing then? Cause yeah, I was like, give him a sign, say something to reassure him. Guess maybe sign of affection because he still loves Alice, so maybe that just do that. I lay down the headphones, go over to Yuli and take him in my arms tight. Find me in 4 years. If I haven't been able to tell you everything before that, I'll explain everything then. He returns my embrace before kissing me passionately. I sit by the record player and prepare to put on the headphones. Alice, wait, please. I pause. You know you have all my love and trust. But do you realize what you're asking of me? A sigh escapes me. Yulia, I like to have the time to tell you more, to tell you everything. But my consciousness could leave this moment in our past at any minute, and I haven't listened to the record before that. It would be a catastrophe. Yuli watches me with bewilderment as I finish putting on the headphones. Unless it's sadness or simply affection. Hesitate for an instant as I pick up the tone arm before I remind myself that I have no choice. I don't have the right to hesitate nor to change my mind. Don't want to let evil have the record. I want to make it as likely as possible that Yuli will still be alive in my new present. Even if it's at the expense of my reality, of my identity. Took a deep breath, then with renewed determination, I placed the needle in the groove. The music hits me and engulfs me like a wave of sound. The living room of the little apartment gleams as though filled with underwater sunlight. The air vibrates with the sonic surf which submerges my consciousness. I'm carried away on the tide as the last rays of sunset vanish behind the Bordeaux rooftops. Moon devours the sun, a sonic wave engulfs me as I drown in the mist of oblivion. I sacrifice my old self on the altar of your survival, lost and found. My soul is torn in pieces until nothing remains. My old self is lost. I am laid bare before the creation. Someone is by my side, asking for my affection, to share the days, to share the nights of my new reality. Oh my God. Trying to think. That looks like Alan. So if I accept, or if I refuse, what happens to each reality? Damn, I don't know what to pick now. Because that's the thing. I could have Alice be with Alan, because that looks like Alan, right? Maybe, I'm going to refuse. I'm going to refuse. A hand toward me from the shadow of you. I turn away. Your image dissolves. I think I'm going to regret that, because I think now in this reality, I don't know Alan. Oh well. As I drift the other way, the wave crashes on the shore of this alien world, a new emanation, and as the sound retreats, I see what I've become. I slip into her like in a glove. The old Alice is lost, nowhere to be found. I embrace my new destiny. I take the 2 steaming cups of coffee that John passed me over the counter, put down my change in payment, and thank him with a shy smile as usual. I saunter back up the road toward Yard Sale Records. First rays of the spring morning sun gently warm my skin. It's pleasant after all these days of drizzle, fog, or downpours. 6 months. 6 months have passed since Prague. Life is carried on. At least another life. In this reality, I work for yard sale records. So, Alice and Alan are still allies? I'm going to assume then. I live in a low apartment in Camden, 15 minutes walk from the shop. Life in London is great with a rich and varied music scene. I've become friends with Beth and Garrett. We often go to see concerts together, and the job itself is pretty good. I make a living listening to music, talking about music, and telling the customers about the records that rock my world. Find it more satisfying than studying loan files. Now, when I reach the store, Garrett has just opened up. I put his coffee on the counter. Oh, thanks, Alice. You're welcome. Simon insisted on going on a club after the concert last night. This caffeine's going to be a lifesaver. I suppose Al's not up yet. So yeah, I think the way we're saying that now, yeah, I don't think Alan's alive in this reality. I think he's dead now. I think he's going to be dead. It's like, people are dying. Let's find out in a moment. Garrett laughs. Okay, so Alan's alive. Okay, Alan's alive. Okay, all right. Woo! Thought he was gonna be dead too. Stop scaring me, game. You're scaring me. All right. Hey, Alan, get up before 11 on a day where he's not doing the opening. Yes, he's definitely a night owl. I suppose he spent another night doing the orders and books. Oh, hey, actually, the postman passed earlier. There's some post for you. Uh-oh. Am I somehow getting the record? I got the record again, don't I? Oh, really? It's odd that it came here and not to my place. Garrett shrugs. I put everything upstairs on Alan's desk as usual. Okay, I'll go take a look. I'm kind of curious. I climb the stairs to the first floor. Today's mail sits in the middle of Alan's desk. I go over to it. Okay, I don't see the records. I guess we're good then. I guess. On top of the pile is a letter. The address is handwritten and it's addressed to me. Or no, that's from Yuli then. If it's from Yuli, is he alive then? Okay, no. Okay, I guess not. Okay. Inside there's a note written on a beautiful thick paper and a concert ticket. Concert ticket says Eddie Black. Ooh. Cool. So he got famous in this reality too? Okay. And then underneath the La something concert at the Olympia VIP pass. As for the accompanying note, it says, Alice, I don't know if I will be able to ever thank you enough for what you did to me, but I still like to try. Come and see me in Paris on the next stop of my tour. Got some information for you. Ooh. All right. I mean, what kind of information? All right. Let's continue. Later, Eddie Black. The signature looks like a celebrity autograph, perfectly drawn and readable. My heart pounds. After such a long time, I give it up on the record, on Yuli, on all of it. What information was Eddie talking about? I've got no idea. I mean, so far we don't know. Yeah, we don't know anything about Yuli in this universe, in this timeline. So, if Eddie has some information, then he knows something. Like, he somehow has an idea of what happened. Okay. I suppose I've got nothing left to do but pack my bags, direction Paris. I approach the two doormen who block the entrance to the backstage. After countless checks of my identity and a dash of chat on the walkie-talkie for good measure, I'm permitted to enter the bowels of the Olympia. I go through a maze of corridors which lead to the dressing rooms, trying to make sense of what I've seen. Eddie Black playing his greatest hits on the tour of Europe, accompanied by a big band in one of the capital's most prestigious concert halls. Let's just say that I just spent 2 pretty surreal hours. Eddie's dressing room is easy to find. It's the one with two more doormen on guard outside. I enter the large, comfortable room. The walls are hung with maroon fabric, a leather couch, and a pair of armchairs are set at the center of the room. Eddie lounges in one of the chairs, a cigarette hanging from the corner of his mouth, and a glass of whiskey in his hand. He stares at me for a moment before recognizing me, then he leaps to his feet and takes me in his arms in a naive and quite touching burst of affection. "I almost didn't recognize you," he adds with a meaningful look. "The record?" I nod. He goes back to his chair, motioning me to sit down next to him. Then he grabs a bottle of Jack Daniels from the ice bucket on the coffee table and pours us both a glass. "I wasn't sure you'd come. Did you enjoy the show?" Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yes, it was great. There's no need to butter me up. I know it's just the last gasp of an old crooner at the end of his career. But isn't this what you wanted? It's what I thought I wanted. I'm not gonna lie to you, my new life is pretty nice. I'm sat on a nice little stash of loot. We could even call it a fortune, I think. I'm in much better health, but still, a little sigh escapes Eddie. Monique and I got divorced in this reality too. At least we still see each other this time, being as how I pay her a little tiny sum in alimony. I tell myself, perhaps with time. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell on my lot. But I'm glad you came to see me. It's kind of thanks to you, all this, despite everything. Yes, get to the point, man. Get to the point. In your letter, you said you had some information for me, I believe? Yes, I did. Eddie takes a deep breath. Your friend, Yuli. Ah, don't tell me he's dead again. Don't die again, Yuli. Stop dying. I can't keep on rescuing you. Okay, thought he was dead. Saw him during my tour. He gave me this for you. Eddie plunges his hand to the inside pocket of his jacket and pulls out a battered postcard. He came to the dressing rooms at the end of my concert in Athens. He didn't know where to find you. When he saw my name as a headliner, he figured that maybe I'd know. Seeing as how the last time Yuli and I saw each other was in Paris before he sent you the record, he realized that he must have let me listen to it. I couldn't help him. I didn't know what had happened to you after London, but I promised him I would find you. He holds out the postcard out to me. My heart pounds. I sort of lost hope that I would one day finally hear from Yuli. See him again. On the front, the card shows ancient ruins overlooking a turquoise sea, capturing Mykonos. I turn it over and instantly recognize on the back Yuli's disjointed handwriting. Alice. We said we'd see each other in 4 years, do you remember? I'm in Mykonos. Can you meet me there? Yuli. Beneath the signature, there's a telephone number. I look up at Eddie, who gazes at his shoes, probably to allow me the time to digest the information. So, yeah, I'd rather just do that. How long ago was it your concert in Athens? A week, no more like 10 days. You tend to lose track of time on tour. I contacted you as soon as I could. It wasn't easy finding out where you were living, saying that he didn't seem in a rush to find you. He told me to do what I could, that he had plenty of time, that he'd wait for you. Anyway, now you know as much as I do. What are you going to do? I smile at the absurdity of his question. What do you think? Going to jump on the first plane to Mykonos. And that's it. Well, that's it for this chapter. Okay, so, makes me wonder what I could have done differently. I think the thing. That's the thing though. Yeah, there were some things I could have done differently, but I think the thing that could have been when I think the thing I think the thing that would have been completely different if I did that, if I accepted if I accepted Alan, right? I should have been Alan. If I accepted him instead of refused him, or or if I refused Eva's invitation to join, because technically I'm still in the group, right? Am I still in the group? Am I still in Aeon Kairos, or no? I don't know. See, so yeah, don't know what to do. But either way, next week gonna finish this game. Hopefully hopefully I enjoy the ending, because yeah, this one, it's kind of weird to enjoy. I'm not gonna lie, it was weird to enjoy this episode because of what I was doing, and how hard it was how hard I was thinking about everything. So man, all right, that was that was Across the Grooves Part 5, Chapter 5, and now next week Chapter 6, Part 6, the epilogue. But the way it says epilogue though, it seems like it's probably gonna be like 5 minutes or something. So I mean, like I said, I'll do it next week. If it's like 5 minutes, then yeah, it's 5 minutes. All right, I don't care. So, all right, that was something. So next week, epilogue. Then I'll try another game after that. I might play. I don't know what I'll play after that, but either way, see you guys next time. So, well, yeah, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.